This ExamSoft quick tip is about previewing an assessment. You will meet the training objectives if you are able to set up an assessment preview and if you are able to preview that assessment in Exemplify. I'll also go over how you print a PDF copy of your assessment, which can be another way to preview your tests. So the first step will be to log into the ExamSoft portal. Remember to log in as an administrator or faculty member using your Husson email. This information would have been sent to you in an email at some point. If you can't find that email, just put in your Husson email here and click the Lost Password button, and you'll be sent another email with your credentials. So everything we're going to be talking about today is happening in the assessments part of the portal. So your first step is to click on that tab. And then what we have to do is we have to find a particular assessment that you want to preview. And so preview in this case means that we're going to preview it in Exemplify. So we're going to see the assessment exactly as your students are going to see it. This can be very useful because the formatting that you see on the ExamSoft website is not always what the students will see in Exemplify. So this is a final check to make sure everything looks the way you want it to look. And this is something you can do before you post an assessment. My example today is going to be with an assessment that's already been posted, but this is a step that you should do before you actually post the assessment so that you're sure everything looks the way you want it to do. So the first thing to do once you find your assessment is to click on it, and that will open up the question view of the assessment. Go to the bottom of your question list and then click on this preview button. Once you do that, you'll be given a notice of how to do the preview. So it's telling us in step 1 that you have to have Exemplify installed on your computer in order to do this. So if you don't already, there's a link right here to download it. It's recognized whether you're on a Windows PC or a Mac, and there's also a link for some installation instructions. Keep in mind that if this is a Husson computer, you will have to call IT and they will give you their admin password to finish the install process. Once it's installed, you'll launch Exemplify, logging in with the credentials that it gives here. These are your credentials, the same ones that you would use on the ExamSoft website. And then once you log in, you'll be prompted to download the exam preview. And I'll show you that in one moment. Keep in mind too that previews are only available for 48 hours after you've clicked the button. But you can go in and click the preview button again if you missed that 48-hour window. So to move over to ExamSoft, let's go to a particular assessment. This is the one I'm interested in previewing. So you'll see my questions come up, and this is the preview button I need to press. And it gives us that message about how to go about it. I can just say OK, and then I'm going to come over to ExamSoft. Now normally you would come in here, probably not logged in at all. You go ahead and log in. If you've logged in before, your user account information should be there, but you still have to type everything in anyway. And then I am going to put in my password. And at this point, once the system logs in, it should recognize that there's a preview. If it doesn't, just hit this refresh exam list button. You'll see that here that it didn't recognize it the first time, but after I hit refresh, it did recognize that the preview is available. Hit the download exam preview button. And now we can go right into previewing the exam. If this was a student taking the exam, they would have to wait at this point to type in their exam password. But since it's just a preview, you are the one that set up the preview. You are logged into this instance of Exemplify. The system knows that there's no need for a password. So another thing to keep in mind is that previews are not secure, even if the exam is set up to be secure. So this will not turn off your internet. It won't make only Exemplify run on your computer during that time. It won't shut down all your other programs, in other words. So you're safe to leave everything else going on your computer when you do these previews. So once you hit Start Exam, you'll see the questions on the assessment, just like the students would see them. when they took the test, and you can just click through them. You can, if you want, answer them, but these answers don't get saved anywhere, and you just see it exactly like the students do. You can open up the attachments, you can zoom in just like the students can. So it's just a good final check that everything looks the way you want it to for your assessment. When you're done looking at all your questions, you come up to exam controls and then click submit exam. It's just telling me that I haven't answered all the questions, but that's okay. It's just a preview, so I'm going to hit close exam and then my final confirmation and exit. Now if a student were taking this exam, you would want to make sure that they would see the green confirmation screen at this point. As it's just a preview, you're not going to see a confirmation screen. It's not really uploading anything to the server. Okay, so let's just quickly go back to the slides because I want to show you one more thing. And that is how to make a PDF copy of your assessment. This is useful as a preview if you don't go through that whole Exemplify preview process. Now, of course, I recommend doing it in Exemplify because you're going to see it exactly as the students are. But some people just print off a copy. They like working on paper better and go through all the questions that way. This is also good. A PDF copy of the exam is also good to have on hand in case students have any technical problems during their exam and they can't do it in Exemplify. But you have to be careful about what version of the exam you're downloading. So I'll get into that in 1 second. To make the PDF copy, you again go into the assessments, the same place we were at before, scroll to the bottom of the questions and hit the print export button. So when you do that, and I'm going to go over this in the next slide, it's important to remember which one of these two you're trying to save the PDF for. Are you trying to save an exam taker copy or a faculty review copy? So this is the option list that comes up when you hit print export, and this is where exam taker and faculty review are. If you click exam taker, the PDF copy will not have any of the answers indicated in it, so that is something that you could give to a student to take the test. However, if you click faculty review, all the answers have a little check mark by them. So it literally is only for you as a faculty to look at that assessment to review it. You should not give that copy to the students because it has all the answers. Okay, so let's go over into ExamSoft and show you what this looks like. So again, I'm in the assessment. Here are the questions, and at the bottom is the print export button. So I'll just go ahead and click that. All my options come up. By clicking one of these buttons, it's just the default options. These checkboxes get changed based on which ones you're selecting, but you can go in there and change anything you want after you've selected either exam taker, faculty review. Custom settings, just again, it works kind of the same way. You can make your own custom settings. So let's say we want to do a faculty review copy. Since we're previewing the exam, I would click that. I tend to like PDF rather than doc, but if for some reason you think you're going to have to make edits to a paper copy that you're giving to some students, you can go with doc. That's more easily editable than the PDF. And then the one other thing I want to make you aware of is that if you're giving this for an actual exam taker, you want to make sure that under display attachment references you click the after related question button. Otherwise, it may default to putting all the attachments together in an external folder or at the end of the document, which isn't that useful. You want the attachments for a question to be right after that question itself. So just take note of that. And then you go to the bottom and hit print export. It will download that to a zip file, which you can open up, and I guess I kept it as a doc file. I don't want a doc file. Let's do that again. Come back up here and make it a PDF. Hit print export again. It will download it again. And then I can open up that, and there's my PDF. And I can preview the whole assessment right here in a PDF. Okay, so that was all I was going to go over today. If you have any questions, please contact anyone in the Office of Assessment and we'd be happy to help you out.